Bit of a unique situation, retiring in the week you play your 150th and you're still locked in for the finals as well. What have you made of everything that's going on in your footy world at the moment?
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I've kind of just given my 6 weeks notice, I guess. So I just wanted to, I had a chat with Horse and the club a few weeks ago and I was sitting on it and I thought, everyone forgets by Tuesday, so I'll tell the boys on Monday and then we can move on from there. So I've had plenty of messages when you play for so many clubs. A lot of people reach out, so it's been really really lovely to hear from a lot of players that I've played with and a lot of people that I've worked with. So it's been a fun week, but just back to business now.
I mean, you're still the number one ruck here. Why have you come to the decision now, and how did you come to it?
Well, for me personally, I've got my wife and 3 kids here, and we've got no help in Sydney, and it just felt like the timing was right to sort of get back home, get our roots planted back on the Gold Coast, and and get some family support, and without being too controversial, that's it.
So, it's a big decision to come to, Tom. Was there any thought of trying to, make a move up there and still keep the playing career going? I guess, how did you juggle that decision-making process?
I've been doing it for 13 years, and I think I'm just so grateful for the fact that I've been able to do this for 13 years. Like I said, when I said to the fellas, I started playing football when I was 18, and I got drafted when I was 19, and I had no idea what I was doing. And I genuinely thought that if I could get 3-4 years in, play a game, I'd go back and complete my trade and life would be back to normal. But instead of being able to live in 4 states and play for 4 amazing clubs and meet so many amazing people, got married, had 3 kids, sometimes the timing's just right. And I think I still have some footy left in me, and I think I could still contribute, but I don't want to be running around and being useless as well at the same time. So I've been able to get some good connections through this football club and got offered a job as well at the same time. So that makes that transition period a lot easier and a lot more of less of a burden on your shoulders, I guess.
What have the past 3 years kind of meant for you here in Sydney? Obviously, some of your best form of your career has been here over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's been incredible. I like to say that I've kind of experienced it all as a footballer. I've been a fringe player, I've been playing in the twos, I've been a whipping boy, I've been hated by fans, I've been loved by fans, and it's much nicer being liked by fans. And Sydney, I feel like they've just wrapped their arms around me, especially the supporter base. And I don't know if it's just I'm weird looking and have long hair, but I've really loved my time here, and it's been so incredible for me and my family. And I think that's a big reason why I got to play in a grand final. I didn't play finals for the first 8 years of my career, and went to West Coast and got to play some finals there, and came here and we've played finals every time I've been here. So I'll definitely look back at my career and look at it so fondly, but I think we'll be a Swans family for life. And I've got a 4-year-old who's I put my head on the chopping block 3 weeks ago and said, mate, the last round you could be running out with me, and so I kind of had to perform to get my spot. And I don't know if he'd ever forgive me if I didn't get a game this week. So he gets to run out with the boys this week, and he wears his Swans jersey 6 out of 7 days. So I think long after I leave, Swans will be a very big part of my life.
It's been such an incredible journey. You're kind of reflecting on it there. How does it feel now that it's done? It's all out there in the open.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's done. That's the thing. I'm at T2 talking to you guys, but I'm about to go train, and hopefully we've still got 5 weeks left. So I think when we hit our last game, whether it's holding up a Premiership Cup or in tears because we've lost, I think it'll hit me pretty hard then. But right now it's done. I said what I needed to say, and it's over, and now we can just get back to playing footy. And there's no bigger task than Max Gawn and the SCG.
How driven are you to end it all on a high then?
Oh, absolutely, mate. I've got none left. So I've got nothing to be holding in the tank, and I'll be fighting as hard as I can. That I've got 5 games left, not 2.
Do you feel like you sort of epitomise a ruckman? I mean, they often bounce around to a few clubs before they get there, sort of find themselves at this level. Do you feel like you sum up the ruckman?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think I've lived a true AFL experience, and I think that's something I'm really grateful for. Like what I said before, I've played a lot of VFL footy, I've played a lot of twos, and I've played in the AFL, and I've got to experience how hard it is to be an AFL player. I wasn't naturally born with the God-given talents that some people are, and I've had to sort of work my ring off to get there, and sometimes it hasn't been good enough as well. And I'm so grateful that I've been able to play football and experience all the highs and lows that come with it.
So how did you at 18 decide I'm going to start playing footy? What sort of got you into it?
So I played every sport in school and played volleyball, and I ended up making state volleyball. And in Queensland they had a rookie search program, and a fellow named Luke Curran reached out to me and said, "You're tall and you're coordinated. How would you like to play AFL?" And I was meant to do a training day, and I didn't do that. But they asked if I wanted to go to the AIS, and I said yes, but I didn't go to that training day, so I couldn't go to the AIS. But the condition of me saying yes was I had to try it for the local footy team, or I had to try it for the local rep team. I probably shouldn't have made it, and I think they probably let me make it. And then I played Morningside in Queensland under 18s and won a premiership, and then played Morningside seniors a year later and won a premiership there. And I thought, how easy is this? And got drafted to the Gold Coast and didn't win a game for 2 years. But from there, it was kind of I'd only ever played the game for 2 years, and I think I've very much got picked up on potential and what could be, and I think I was still trying to live up to it sort of 13 years later. But it was kind of, I worked 40 hours a week as an apprentice, and I had to do all the stuff to try and get drafted in my own time. And then when I got into the system, I realised I got to do all that stuff but without the work, and realised how grateful and how fortunate I am. So I've kind of been really lucky to experience both sides, like I said.
What has the feeling been like around the club this week? Obviously, the season's kind of been on the line for you guys for basically the past 2 months, but this week finals is locked in. You guys know you're playing finals. Has it felt any different?
Not really. I think there's still a whole lot to play for. We've got a home final to play for. So, and Melbourne are a hell of a challenge. They're a top 4 team and one of the form teams of the competition. So, not a whole heap's changed. We still talk about one step at a time. I think 7 weeks ago we need to win every game, and we've put ourselves in that position. We put ourselves in that position to need to win 7 weeks in a row, and that was our doing, and we weren't happy about it. But we're really proud of ourselves to be able to get there, and now let's not stop.
And obviously you've had a few injuries this year, but how's your body feeling at the moment going into finals?
Yeah, it feels good. So had a couple of calf injuries and stuff like that to start, but no, feeling good now.
You mentioned Max Gawn before. It feels like he's just about back to his best form again, which is ominous. Tell us about that challenge, and does it occupy your mind in the lead up to a challenge like that?
Oh, absolutely. He's the premier ruck in the competition and has been for a long time. He's probably up there now rivaling Coxie as one of the best to ever do it. So I'm pretty close to Big Gawn in. I think we coached together back in 2016 when we were both coming through. We coached Sandy Dragon, so we've had a fair bit to do with each other over the years, and I've always loved versing him and going up against the best, and he's given me a bath a couple of times, and so hopefully this week's not one of them.
Do your ruck guys stick together? Your AFL ruckmen, do you have a little group that you sort of...
You do have chats. I remember on the weekend I caught up with Sammy Jacobs because he was doing the MC stuff, and I got to play a lot of footy against him through the years, and you have little chats, and mate, like I said, I've played for most clubs, so I know someone at most clubs.
What about this job you've got after footy? Tell us about that.
Oh, it's just for ARA, one of the sponsors of the footy club. So Ed, thanks mate, really appreciate it.
I think I saw a stat yesterday that you haven't had a bounce in your 149 games. Not sure if that's accurate or not, but is there a chance you could get one away before you're done?
Yeah, a few of the boys are telling me to take a bounce, but I said I don't need 15 steps to hit a target. So when you've got elite foot skills like me, you don't need the 15 steps. So no, I reckon there's only one chance I'll ever take a bounce, and that's if we're 10 goals up in a grand final and I can't get dropped and can't get dragged. So I'll keep it in the bag, I think.
Looking to the future, what do you think of where the Swans kind of ruck stocks are at the moment? Hayden's looking close to signing. You've got Lockie McAndrew here. What do you think is the key for some of these young guys coming through? Yeah,
and we got Pete Laddams as well, and he came and he's played some really good football here, I think. That often gets forgotten. He's come in and played some really good football. He had a pretty horrific ankle injury this year, and he's struggled to get back from that. But he's starting to move well again. And so I think between him and Big Stretches, he's raw as, but he works super hard, and he's tall, and you can't teach length. So he came in and he showed a bit, and Doss is shaping up to be exactly like Sam Reid was for us last year in terms of he's a really, really capable forward, but he's also a really capable ruck and can really give us something different when we're in there. So in good hands, I think.